Oh my God, Kai Cenat just quit. Did you see that he quit? Blah, blah, blah. Let's talk about it.
Wow.
So if you haven't heard, Kai Cenat, I don't know if he quit streaming, but he definitely quit a number of things that are going to stop him from pursuing his next dream, fashion. I love that this is happening. I think the implications are crazy, and I think this is the greatest thing to ever happen in the history of streaming. Why? Well, Kai Cenat launched himself to the top of streaming, obviously. I think he took a lot of, well, let me not make it, I don't know what notes he took from anybody. All I know is that there was a certain style of streaming that was popularized and he jumped into it after doing the type of content that he did before, which if you didn't know, he started off kind of doing like, pranks and stuff like that. I've been watching him since he started, essentially. The Bronx has to stick together. Here we are. I'm from the Bronx. I'm a space demon, but that's a different story. So he just recently released a video talking about his changes in his life. I think a lot of people were thinking about the time that the streamer awards, the streamies, what do they call? I don't know. I watched it after the fact. After hearing how insanely terrible it was, I watched it, and a lot of people had some things to say about his appearances, and they felt like, man, he's fed up with the team, and there's been a lot of controversy happening around his name, essentially, and they felt like he was changing directions because of that, or that he was trying to separate himself or make some changes, and I don't know, people had their own, they were perceiving a whole bunch of shit. I thought, this person is just having a great time, and eventually it seems like it didn't turn into such a great time. Like it transitioned from a great time to liabilities and controversies, and I almost felt sorry for him because he, to my knowledge, was never like a big problem. He was pretty unproblematic. I don't know what he was. He was just a guy. He was a fun guy. He loved to watch. You're like, okay, this is a kid just like, having fun, living his dream, doing pranks. Eventually, just being silly and just screaming really loudly and having a whole bunch of fun with people. This is all things that don't matter. Let's get to the stuff that actually matters. What does matter is that he's jumping into fashion. I think that this is really important. One, I love that he's doing that because fashion, dude, I want to see what he can do. That's inherent. I just want to see what he comes up with, and I hope that it really stands out. God, I wish I could just speak to him. That, and I think that this kind of sets an example. I think that there's a lot of people around Kai that I feel like should take the same or similar initiatives. Why? These are streamers, okay? These are streamers, and there are different levels and different avenues, different genres of content creation that people can do. And essentially what they're doing, and not to, talk down on anyone, but I feel like what they are doing is for a particular kind of audience. It's for a particular audience. It's kids, children like that content, and adults like that content. I sit in a place where I was watching a fair bit of Kai Cenat streams, and his streams are shared amongst like all ages, especially when he's like, engaging with Drewski and Ice Spice and Kevin Hart. Like, a lot of people want to watch that stuff, but it does come to a point where you become this huge streamer. What is your thing? Like, what are you doing? And I know Kai Cenat has that mentality where he wants to execute on the next thing. Like, he doesn't just want, like, he has ideas. And as he said in his video, he was having ideas and thoughts and trouble, like, man, fear, like, what do I do? How do I start? What do I do when I feel this fear? Man, he was just asking some beautiful questions. I thought it was dope, and I just, it's interesting because I think he sits in a place where he honestly doesn't necessarily even have to worry about failing. And I'm not saying that he's, perfect or that he shouldn't feel fear. What I'm saying is he has a leg up. He can create terrible fashion and probably be able to sell it to kids, because whatever he does, it's gonna work. That's the thing. The thing that I want to happen though is for him to do something that not necessarily caters to, but that is available or markets to all ages, especially adults. I want to see him tap into the adult fashion pocket. Not because, who cares? What he wants to do is what he wants to do. I don't know. But I think that it would be extremely beneficial for him because he's got the kids. He's got the kids no matter what. If he's able to get the adults on board with his fashion or whatever avenues that he decides to go to, that's gonna really do some stuff. The other people on the team, man, AMP and all the guys or whatever, I don't remember. I haven't watched it. I watched bits and pieces. Bitch and pieces? I've watched bits and pieces. I've watched bits and pieces of what they've done for a little while, and yeah, I don't know. It just, no judgment to any of them. I'm sure they're all whatever they are. I don't know. I don't care. What I'm saying is, I think that they should all grow, and I think that Kai Cenat, like one of, if not the biggest streamer right now, doing a thing that shows that he's growing. Like if you look at Aiden Ross goes to where the money's at, and that's fine, I guess. I don't know where his passion's at. I don't know what he cares about. I don't know anything about the guy. I also don't watch him I don't watch him as much as I don't watch most things, but I also don't necessarily watch Kai Cenat. But his thing did show up for me, and I watched it, and I saw it, and I felt it, and that passion was there. I would love if the other streamers or the other people associated with Kai Cenat can make the same transitions, figure out what they want to do with their actual adult life, because I think the live streaming, at least in the style that they do it, kind of runs its course as you age, and maybe it doesn't. Maybe it just naturally grows. I don't think we've seen somebody, well, no, we have seen people stream well into, I don't know. I feel like we need, maybe we can have a person who we can watch stream. Aiden Ross, he'll probably be that. He'll probably be that person that's streaming well into his adulthood. I'm wondering if there is any person who regularly streams like in that particular style that they have into their adulthood. Well, they are adults, but I'm saying like let's think about like 30s and 40s and 50s, because these people do have careers and need careers, and obviously whatever they do, they could get a sponsor or whatever they need to get, but how long is like sitting and goofing with a celebrity when you're not like really creating content? Like, who will you then attract? Once you're 40, if you're doing the same thing that you're doing now as a streamer, and I'm talking about that particular style of streaming that Aiden Ross or Kai Cenat do, then at what point do the guests that you have feel less interested? At what point does your audience feel less, like, I guess the same audience will travel with them, but I think they'll be isolating two different groups at that point, because they're not growing in their content. They're not reaching new audiences. They're not doing anything different or special. They're doing the same thing and keeping, loyalty throughout. And maybe that's good for them. Honestly, probably Aiden Ross, that would be all he needs to do at this point. I mean, these guys have so much money that they don't really need to do anything at this point. But it's interesting to think about. I think Kai Cenat doing this, sheds a really decent light on the possibilities of what these streamers could actually step into. And that's why I think it's such a pivotal moment for the internet as a whole, because streamers have a really bad rap, especially the ones that are pushing a lot of gambling and whatnot. I stream from time to time, and I just do silly stuff and act ridiculous, which I can do until the day that I die. But I'm a big kid, and that's the thing. It's like I don't know that they're all big kids, and I don't even know that they would want to identify that way. I wouldn't want to offend anybody, but that's what it seems like. It seems like they're all big kids and they're growing up. But at some point, being that kid being that kid, that character can't bleed into like actual life. Like I'm a child in my brain. I all I want to do is play, right? However, I get stuff done. I do what I have to do, and the people that I feel like are closest to me and understand me understand that when I'm playing, when I'm doing that whole thing, I'm just whatever. But with these guys, I feel like it's all just one thing. These streamers, they're not putting on they are putting on a character, but it's just like an elevated version of themselves that they constantly are, and that's a bit different to me. I don't know what it feels like to be in that position, but again, these guys are people who did just recently grow out of a childhood necessarily. Like they're recent adults, at least compared to me, and so I see what they do, and I'm like, man, how much of who they are is what this is. How much of their controversy, like it's hard to separate. You know, I listen to lots of music and I watch and listen to lots of artists or whatever who maybe have done terrible things, right? It's easy for me to separate the character or the art from the artist, but with them, it's like it's almost impossible. And that's kind of the nature of an influencer, right? Like the public figure is the only thing that you get. And when that streamer is giving you what feels like their home life or their regular life or their everyday or their normal interactions with people, and lots of it is with other celebrities and fans, like you kind of lose that they're a person. And what Kai Cenat has done, in addition, my God, I love this, is he has another channel that it was, I don't know, he had a secret channel on YouTube that he was dropping a whole bunch of videos. I mean, like, at least like one video each day for the past 2 weeks, mostly like 3 videos a day, sometimes 2, sometimes 4. He's just doing random things. He's reading books to improve on his speech. He's exercising. He's doing a whole bunch of stuff, and it's showing that he's a person. This is so crazy, and it seems redundant or silly or stupid, maybe, I don't know if it does, but to me it's like, wow, we actually get to see, not that I'm necessarily super interested, but I think that as far as the influence for the people, the fans that watch this guy, my God, it's opportunity. They're gonna be able to see growth. He's using his influence in a positive way. This is insane, and I know that he knows he's doing that. He's not saying it because it's not cool, and I'm not making the accusation like he's not saying it because it's not cool. He's just not saying it, and it's also just not cool to be like, hey, look at me, you know, pushing these life improvement buttons. Children, you know, children want to watch people have fun, and I think there is a way to do both. You can do both. You don't have to be scummy. You don't have to, you know, hang out with people who you feel like are whatever it is. I don't know. All I know is that he's I don't know if he's monetizing. He's displaying growth, personal growth. And I think that is insanely amazing. A beautiful thing to do for the streaming fans. And so that's why I think Kai Cenat is kind of really changing a lot of the game for streamers altogether. And it's not just because he's jumping into fashion, it's because he's pursuing his passion. I'm a rapper, by the way. I'm not. This is the first time I think I've seen streaming in a positive light, and I don't even know that he's going to be streaming now. I don't know if he quit streaming, but it seems like a lot of his time, if not all of his time, is going into personal growth and his new goal. So, I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I don't know, like and subscribe if you feel like it. Speaking of leaving I'm in a dopamine hole. I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah. Leave us something in the whatevers, and hey, look, let's talk about it. I don't know, man. This is a big deal. Do people know how big of a deal this is? I feel like people don't know how big of a deal this is. Like, it seems monumental because it's Kai Cenat, but it's like, it's monumental because of what he's actually doing. Like, the influence part of it is the part that I'm like, ooh, my heart, I'm waiting to see. Dude, I guess at the same time, in my head, I'm like, man, it almost sucks that influencers and streamers have this much power, that I'm necessarily disconnected from them, but still very connected with them because the people that I interact with in my everyday life are so connected with them. Just everyone. Everyone under the age of whatever I am watch these people so much, know everything about them. It's like their news source, their entertainment. Like these characters play like so many roles to these kids' lives out here. So yeah, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but Kai Cenat is showing how it could be a good thing. That's all I have to say. I'm rambling, and I don't know. I've been your local friendly space demon, Pinksy. Oh yeah, click this. Am I pointing in the right direction? Click this to see the thing that I did. Or you can click here to see the thing that I didn't do or did, or maybe something's not there. I'm not sure yet. You're asking me too many questions.